What's up, people? Welcome back to Almighty Blues FC, a fan channel for all to see. What a month that we are entering in. It is the busiest period of the footballing calendar, right? It is December, yes, and we've had games left, right, and center. I know that a lot of football, and I'm sure some of you might be already tired with so much football, but I'm sure, fanatics like us never get tired. And the more football we have, the more football we discuss, and that is why we are here. Yes, it was a great game week, the game week 14, especially just in the last 24 hours. We saw Manchester United beating Arsenal, arch rivalry 3-2. And of course, there is another rivalry, a London derby, coming in another 24 hours, right? And that is, of course, my team, that is Chelsea, you all know. So, yes, lots to discuss, but not just that. In between these two, Ralph Ragnick, yes, he has just become interim manager of Manchester United. Finally, after all the work permit issues and whatnot, Ronaldo, Factos, and whatnot, the controversy he created, and then he scored goals to basically break a record yet again. And that's something that requires a lot of discussion and maybe praise, maybe some criticism as well. So, yes, we have special guests, but before we get into it, anyone who's watching, let's smash that like button as well as subscribe if you have not done yet. Because, yes, every subscription and every like helps the channel. And of course, thanks for watching. Do watch till the end. Stay on because we will be discussing a lot of things this stream. Trust me that there is a special panel. So do stick on till the end. Yes, it's not just Chelsea, but we are discussing Manchester United, West Ham United, Arsenal, and whatnot. So yes. And yes, press that bell notification icon for the next time that we will be live. And as I say that, let me first, big up a few people. Here we have in the house Talk MUFC. Big up, brother. Thanks for joining. Of course, great channel himself, growing channel for sure. And of course, as always, Chelsea Perspective. Big up. Thanks for joining again. And yes, Chelsea Perspective, we need your perspective today because a lot of discussions will be happening with the panel being, from across clubs, right? And of course, Michael Talks Football. Fantastic channel, I must say. Like everyone who probably want to know any football, just go to Michael Talks Football, right? And then he talks every kind of football right there. And yes, definitely told you Man United would win 3-2. Bang on. Yes, Michael, you got it right. And yes, we'll come to the prediction league. We'll come to that as well towards the end of the episode. And of course, just Viola is there as always. Big up and thanks for joining. And I won't keep the guests waiting. So let's get in the first guest, that is Chinmay, a Manchester United fan, Chinmay, and of course, the English fan that he is. Chinmay, welcome to Almighty Blues FC. It's been a long wait. We've been trying to get you on. I know that, somehow we didn't kind of, get an opportunity. But I think Manchester United is basically the talk of the town this week. So how are you doing, firstly?
Heart attack, heart attack all the time. When you support Man United, that's what you get. If you lose a game, if you're losing a game and the game is going on, you get to see, Man United probably come back, make history as they did last night. Or, you can see a game against Watford where they concede more and more goals and then they lose. And, that's another headline. So if you support Man United, get used to heart attacks. And it's been a crazy 24 hours. Last night, Beckham was there at the stadium. You saw our new manager, Ralph Ragnick. He was at the stadium. He was happy with what he saw. At least that is from what he said in his presser today morning. And the sad news, Michael Carrick leaving the club after 15 years. That again is something to look upon. A great legend for the club, but a great 24 hours. Beating Arsenal, you're always happy.
Absolutely. Well said there, definitely, Chinmay. And yes, lots to talk. And we will be touching upon all those things that you said and much more. So stay tuned, everyone. And yes, the more likes we have, the more people will join. And we would like the chat to also get involved. So do comment with the comments, be it banter. Chinmay, loves a banter. I know that as whatever he's done. I think in the Euros is when we had a lot of banter going. I know me being a Dutch fan, Chinmay being the English fan. But as I say that, let me actually welcome, of course, a Chelsea boy in the house. And this is top man, Adidev. Adidev Guruji, welcome to the channel. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Hi guys. Sorry I was late. I was just having my dinner. So sorry. But
No problem. No problem.
yeah, I've been good. What about you guys? How are you? Hi Chinmay.
Hi. You support the best club in Europe right now. So I have to say you're living a good life.
Chinmay, got his cards right, and probably he's just waiting for the banter to come. But yeah, as in great start, Chinmay, I must say. But yes, Adidev, of course, for people who don't know, Like I mentioned about Chinmay being a huge Manchester United fan, Adidev as in doesn't really require an introduction, especially for Chelsea fans in India. As in for me, as in being a Chelsea fan, he's one of the few faces of Chelsea fans in India. Like he's been there, done that in Chelsea fan, club. I'm sure, he's one to look up for. But yeah, definitely for people watching, he is a writer, singer, and I think he has a YouTube channel of his own. So yes, do check out. The link is below. Definitely do subscribe. Yes, Adidev has not been so active, but definitely, as in
Yeah.
when Adidev speaks, everyone listens. Simply put, right?
Yeah, thanks for the flowery introduction there. But yeah, I mean, I hope to be more active with my YouTube channels, especially a lot of memes about that. But yeah, I hope to bring out a lot of content on my YouTube channel soon enough.
Looking forward to it. Yes. So, Guruji, I'll probably ask you, and as we address him as Guruji, as in, what do you think about the centre back situation in Chelsea? Four of them kind of, completing contracts within a year's time. Like, do you see all four sticking on? What's your gut saying?
And I feel whatever is happening, like I'll take Christensen's example. For example, Christensen with the whole to and fro that's happening with the agent, and with the agent actually demanding a certain salary, then Christian accepting that salary at least provisionally, and then going back on his words. So, I mean, when you talk about all of that, I feel it's kind of justified when that particular behavior is happening when it comes to the defenders that we have, because honestly speaking, the centre backs, when you look at the ratio of the contracts being offered within the Chelsea system, the attackers get a lot more money than what a centre back gets usually, and that is very surprising because Tuchel's success so far has been largely built on an absolutely rock solid, defense. So it actually is very imperative for us to hold down our hold down the centre backs primarily, regardless of how regardless of the money that they ask for right now. So if I'm talking about Christensen is what, 26, 25, or something along those lines, and he
I think it's
still has his
25
best
years.
years in yeah, he still has his best years in front of him. So I really feel the fact कि yes, the club needs to be sustainable as well. So अगर agent ने कुछ भी मांगा, we can't exactly like go along the route of what the agent asks for. But right now, in Christensen's case, I mean, he wants to sign a 5-year contract. We can't exactly give a 3-year contract to Christensen because it doesn't make sense for a player who's just what, 25 years of age. So he needs to sign a 5-year contract. For him to sign a 5-year contract, if we probably give him a wage which almost equals, like, let's say a Werner or something along those lines, I don't see any reason to not do that. I mean, we still have a certain financial, what do you say, certain financial power hold or stranglehold over, like, in comparison to other European clubs or in comparison to other English clubs. So I feel with Christensen that is the case. With Rudiger also, I feel that should be the case as well. Although Rudiger does really want to, move out right now. I think he wants to look for new challenges. I think that is something that is there in his mind as well. But his money is definitely a case for him as well. And I really feel that they, like, if you are a professional, right, if you are a professional, you would definitely be thinking that, okay, fine, mere around jo bhi log kaam kar rahe hain, I know that they're working as hard as me, but I know that I'm bringing more to the table when it comes to actually affecting, when it comes to actually changing anything in the organization, and I'm not getting paid equally. So there is a certain, what do you say, there's a certain thing that that will click in my mind about my financial status as well, and I really feel it is very justified. But Tuchel coming out in the open and saying that it's definitely a case that I'm actually benching Christensen because I want him to because of the whole contract situation that's happening, and I want him to sign on the dotted line. Tuchel coming out and saying that that's not really healthy
Yeah.
for the side, and I really feel that is where I would really consider Tuchel to be wrong, because you really can't force a player to be in Chelsea. You really can't force Christensen to be in Chelsea. If you are doing that, you are actually forcing the player out of the club indirectly. And Christensen is too good a player to actually be forced out of the club currently.
Exactly. Like how Chelsea perspective puts it. Just leaving it so late itself was a question mark. Like they probably took Christensen for granted, like Tuchel is probably taking as well. which is again questionable. And I know that's a brave call, Aditya, but I have to agree with you there. Again, let's just cross our fingers as Chelsea fans. But yes, lots to discuss. Yes,
But
we'll come back to Chelsea. Yeah.
you know, just coming in between of this talk, you know, and I've been
Sure.
hearing whatever you know you have to say about this. If you don't come out in the open, and if you don't say that you do expect him to sign, you have a situation like Paul Pogba, which
Yeah.
United have been facing for the last 3-4 years. Nobody has come out and
Right.
said that, you know, I'm not
Right.
going to play him till he doesn't sign.
Right.
He's on the last year of his contract now, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, as a United fan, I don't know if he's going to stay or not.
Yeah.
I really don't know if
Interesting.
he's going to stay or not.
But the situation with Paul Pogba, I will say, was a lot more
He
drawn
wants
out than how it has
he,
been with
he
Christensen.
wants he Pogba wants to be the highest paid player in the Premier League. That's what his demands
Exactly.
are.
Yeah.
With Christensen,
So
you know that a player
yeah.
wants to sign. The agent is
Yeah.
creating problems here. But
Yeah.
then, don't you probably think that the
So
manager
I
coming
don't think
out in
so.
the
I don't
open,
think so. It's just the agent who's creating the problems here.
you
I
think it
really
might be
don't think it's
Christensen too?
just. Yeah, I really don't think it's just the agent who's creating
Yeah,
the
he's not
problems.
a
If
kid,
you
right?
want to
As in,
sign a
after all.
5-year contract, you need to. If you're signing a 5-year contract, you need to have a certain what do you say, financial solidity to that contract as well. So if I'm a professional, I would also want that. So I'm not actually saying Christensen. I'm not saying that it's just the agent's fault. It's I think the player wants that solidity in that contract. So if he's playing for Chelsea, he wants to actually not keep anything in the back of his head. Okay, fine, PSG is coming with this offer in the middle of these 5 years. No, I'm not going to take it because Chelsea have shown that faith in me. So I will be loyal to this club for the next 5 years. So that is, I think, what is going on in the head of Christensen, and that is absolutely valid. I mean, all Chelsea fans here respect it. With Pogba, it was a completely different case. I think Pogba was just wanted to be in the higher bracket, was just wanted to be in that higher salary
And
bracket for
that's, you know, that's
Manchester
the
United.
problem. We still don't know. You
Yeah,
know, 6 months left. I don't know if he's staying or not. You know, big
yeah,
problems.
Well,
Contracts.
we'll definitely get to know. Like, hopefully, as in things get sorted. Like, I'll be optimistic here. We still have technically a month, so let's hope for the best. But yes, as in moving on, definitely, there's a lot of discussion around Chelsea, and we'll come to that for sure. And yes, we are waiting for a West Ham fan as well. Hopefully, the person comes in a few minutes. And before that, as in the talk of the town, definitely, I have to kind of give the stage to Chinmay because well, the reality is that CR7 good, but I don't know. Like, firstly, as in, let's talk about the Factos episode, right? As in, again, for people in the chat who probably are not aware yet, just around 48 hours ago, obviously, Messi winning the Ballon d'Or, and then obviously there's a lot of discussion whether he should have won, whether he shouldn't have won. That is debatable. Anyone's viewpoint is totally fair. Like, but the fact that there is a Stan who went to Instagram, posted a lot of things about Ronaldo as to what he did in the Italian league, and he's kind of moved countries and whatnot. And of course, it might be right or wrong. That's not the debate. The point being that after that entire story, Ronaldo goes and says Factos with I think eyes emoji, which kind of kicked it off, and that became a huge news in itself. Firstly, as in before I kind of continue, Chinmay, quick reaction to that, like being a Manchester United fan and I'm sure a Ronaldo fan as well, Chinmay, what is your take? I'll just probably take your take quickly there.
Well, so number one, I would say I think everyone in the football community knows that the Ballon d'Or is not Ronaldo's perspective of who's the best player. Ronaldo has always thought he's the best player. Ronaldo's always tried to tell everyone whenever he's asked, he always says, "I am the best player." Um, on a very moral level, I think it was wrong for him to do that. Kind of steals the limelight from Messi. Everybody was talking about Messi and Lewandowski throughout that whole Ballon d'Or situation. And if you have a close look at the post, there are terms like Lionel Messi always, gets the Ballon d'Or. Lionel Messi has not scored against Madrid. Ronaldo 300% deserves the Ballon d'Or. I have to tell you, I'm a Ronaldo fan. I'm a United fan. Ronaldo did not deserve the Ballon d'Or. Facts are that he is, probably the biggest clutch player. I would say I can't disagree on that. But talking about this year, standalone, I don't think he deserves it. Kind of took the limelight away. But again, speaking just about that point, because we're speaking about that day, the point being that I think Mr. Pascal, if I'm not wrong, that who spoke about Ronaldo having this ambition of winning more Ballon d'Ors than Messi, that was too wrong. And Ronaldo did come out with a defensive post saying that I've never said something like that. So two controversies on the same day. But again, as you know, you mentioned the word Ronaldo, and people start talking. So it's
Yeah.
something to just get. It's something to just keep it going.
Well said, well said. And as you say that, we have, of course, Gatesy in the house. Gatesy, welcome to Almighty Blues FC. Big up to you. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, mate. How about yourself?
Great, great, great to have you. And of course, meet Chinmay and of course Adidev. Chinmay is a Manchester United fan and Adidev is a Chelsea fan. And of course, we have started off with the discussions around Chelsea and Manchester United. So I hope you can also contribute from a neutral perspective. And of course, you are a football fan as well. So I'm hoping that you will contribute. But before
I'll
we
do my
continue,
best.
guys, yes, and please smash the like button. But before anything, do check out the description. Just like Adidev's channel, Gatesy has a great channel, West Ham United. I think it's all West Ham United, but a lot of football
Most
covered
of
as
it.
well. Transfer market, uh, a great channel. I am a viewer for sure. Gatesy knows that. I love the channel. I'm always there. So definitely take a look and do subscribe. And of course, Gatesy, anything that you would like to add quickly about the channel? I think you do some amount of work apart from that as well in terms of the channel.
Yeah, I mean, we're predominantly, obviously, a West Ham United fan YouTube channel. Falls from Iron West Ham United to give us our full title, but if you put into a Google search just Falls from Iron, you'll find it. We do try where we get the opportunity to do so to get opposition fans on as well ahead of matches and things like that, and transfer news and various little bits and pieces. I mean, to be honest with you. Yes, like I say, I'm a West Ham fan, and obviously my focus is going to be on my team. However, that being said, I love getting opposition fans on to give a completely different perspective, and it broadens your horizons. I've enjoyed doing it since when we set it up in about February, Duke and I, and it's been really fun. A lot of work. I've got to say to anybody watching thinks that running a YouTube channel is a piece of cake and you just got to sit in front of a webcam and just chat. It's an awful lot more than that, let me tell you.
For sure, for sure. And definitely it's 24/7. But yeah, then again, big respect to you. But as in before I move on, Gatesy, because we were already talking about Ronaldo, I know that you've seen a lot of football as well. Like among the years, I know I'm putting in a spot here, but not being diplomatic, but let's call it like who is really the GOAT? Is it Pele, Maradona, Messi, or Ronaldo? What would you put?
In my opinion, Maradona, the greatest player I've ever seen. I mean, I remember watching him in the '86 World Cup, absolutely tear England to shreds. That goal of the century. I know there was obviously the hand of God goal, which he gets a lot of stick for. Personally, I mean, Maradona was 5'5", Peter Shilton was 6'2". There's no way that Peter Shilton should have been out-jumped by Maradona. I'm sorry. Even with his hand up there, he should have done better with that for me. But the goal that he got, where he got the ball round about halfway, pirouetted, turned, and just went on this run and just tore through the England backline. As an England fan, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was 10 years of age, but I can still remember it quite vividly. And he was unbelievable that entire tournament. He scored a very similar goal in the semi-final against Belgium, and he dragged that team kicking and screaming to the final. And then 4 years later, so he's now past his peak years. He's now on the downward trajectory, but he was still able to drag that team kicking and screaming to another final, and they just came short to Germany. That's my opinion. I mean, does that mean that the other players are not great players? They're fantastic players. Messi, Ronaldo, they're all fantastic players. But in my opinion, Maradona was the greatest I've ever seen.
Yeah, as in again, I have that same opinion to be very honest. But again, people in the chat do comment. Just get in a vote. Like let's not be toxic about it. But yeah, we should probably celebrate everyone. Simply put, right?
Yeah,
as Gatesy
absolutely.
And the fact that the guy scored 800 goals, like professional goals. I know Pele has scored a lot of goals as well, but I know a lot of them were friendlies. But in this day and age, scoring 800 also is no joke. As in, he's right up there. Having said that, of course, he scored those 2 goals against Arsenal, arch rivalry. It was a 3-2 victory for Manchester United. And they have closed the gap. Like, it's kind of feeling strange for me to say that Manchester United have closed the gap to Arsenal. And that's not something that we are used to. But yeah, that's how it goes, right? Having said that, I think the person probably who wasn't talked about much in the last 24 hours, and in my opinion, probably should have been spoken more of, was Fred. Like, Fred had, as in, one hell of a game. Like, from I think tripping David De Gea to basically having that world class, as in, side pass to
Fred
Bruno
came full
Fernandes.
circle in that game. I mean, it
Wow.
was a 360-degree game from him. Like, absolutely, like if
He,
you
I
had
mean,
to actually,
you're talking about the goal he conceded. If you have a look at the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, he gave away the ball a couple of times in a very dangerous situation where, Aubameyang could have
yeah,
actually scored. And
yeah,
you have a look at Fred, and that's the way it is with him. He does do that a lot. But then you have a look at the block he made in the, I think, the 88th or 89th minute against Saka.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see, so
yeah,
he's giving the ball away. He's giving De Gea away. He's selling him off, and then he's the one who's win the penalty. He's the one who gave that assist to Bruno. So I mean, he is really, really, I would say, it's kind of the Brazilian way to play. But I have to say that Fred, under Carrick at least, Fred has been really, really good. You leave the first half out yesterday, and he was really good again last night.
Good one, and definitely, I think I'll probably give him a thumbs up at the end of the day, because this guy actually deserves it. As in, the guy has been like taking, as in, slack left, right, center. Trust me, like, for him to come back kind of like a Jorginho for Chelsea. Like, he kind of at the end
yeah,
comes and still does it. Like, hats off to him. But having said that, I think De Gea also, I think, had that save against Gabriel, and I think the fall. Like, I'll put
yeah.
it to you, Adidev, the neutral perspective. So, uh, that De Gea situation, like with him falling down and the goal going, like, where are you on it? It was definitely a goal, right? As in,
Yeah,
nothing wrong.
it was absolutely a goal, no doubt about that. And I really feel that in the game, you really do get such situations when you don't know which player is actually attacking you or which player is actually closing you down in certain situations, because you're absolutely absorbed in that particular situation. But again, as we were discussing about Fred was like never out of the spotlight in this particular game. So again, very silly to probably stamp your keeper there and then expect a free kick, which is pretty unreal. You can't exactly do that. But I think where we could criticize De Gea is when such things happen. At least 60 to 70% of the time, the like when the person who is a victim in this particular situation, he gets up, because he knows it's a very dicey situation that's just happening right in front of his eyes. And he gets up, and after that particular situation, or after that particular what do you say, phase of play has died down, then that person sits down again. That is something that happened. De Gea didn't actually take that into consideration at all, and I really feel that I really feel that is where Manchester United actually lost the plot. I don't think so. The team lost the plot. I think it was just because of some 5 to 10 seconds of harakiri that just absolutely it just dissolved the whole what do you say, dissolved the whole game at that particular point of time. Because I really felt that first goal, I really felt that would just kill the game, because I
Yeah.
really thought that would just kill the game. To be very, very honest, like I know we have a Manchester United fan here, but I really felt if Arsenal scored
I,
the first
I
goal,
felt the same way. I felt the same way. Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah,
I
yeah,
felt the
yeah.
same way
If Arsenal
because
score the first goal,
you have a look at United for the last 1 month. Yeah, since the Liverpool
yeah,
game, not even Liverpool. I'd say
yeah,
the Leicester game, and they've looked. Whenever they've conceded, even if they're leading and they've conceded, 1-all. And now suddenly I'm looking at Maguire and Lindelof. Varane's not there. Our toughest run of the season, and Rafa Varane has played one game, and I'm kind of worried. Because he was the
yeah,
marquee signing, the marquee defender signing we had. And I'm scared.
yeah,
We conceded yesterday, and I thought, we've got attackers to score 3, 4, 5. But do we have the defense to, probably save
yeah,
another goal? And luckily,
yeah.
we did have the good defense, and 3-2 then.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
because
congrats,
Arsenal got on the
Chinmay.
counter as well. Yeah, yeah. Because Arsenal got on the counter as well, and it was a pretty scary proposition to be one goal down. And yeah, again, just summarizing everything, bizarre goal to concede, but yeah, all's well that ends well.
Absolutely. And of course, let me big up a few more people here. Doug is in the house. Dugout Football Channel, again, a great channel at that. Do check it out. And of course, not just him, Chelsea Perspective, Michael Talks Football, Insane Football Talks, Football Parliament. I probably missed it earlier, but definitely big up to you, Chirag. Thanks for joining. and Blue Clouds TV, of course, who's joined, and the panel themselves. So, Gatesy, I'll put it to you. Let's move on to Ralph Rangnick. This is someone who was basically touted as what Tuchel, Klopp, and I think Nagelsmann mentor. I actually heard the press conference that he had, his first press conference, and I must say, even as a Chelsea fan, it was refreshing. The press conference that he had, and of course, no surprises there.
Hell yeah.
And then he has mentored the people that I just mentioned, right? And then absolutely no surprises, right? But in terms of basically him getting an interim role, I know that with West Ham, I don't think we can compare the situation like David Moyes, what he had when he was at Manchester United. But with Rangnick being there, do you actually genuinely see that he can probably bring about these changes? Because I think in the press conference also, he was possibly asked of transfers, and he has a funny bone. But he was like, okay, give me 10 million for Haaland, 10 million for I think Mbappe, 10 million for Kimmich, and I think Lewandowski is what he was asking for. So what do you think, as in just as a football fan, what would you like to see him changing Manchester United, because it is a big club after all, right?
Listen, Manchester United are arguably the biggest club in the world. Now, it does seem a little bit strange to me that they've brought in this guy, as things stand at the minute, on a 6-month contract, and with a view to then, for the next 2 years thereafter, being in a consultancy role. That just seems really weird for a club that is one of the biggest clubs in world football. Now, Ralf Rangnick, obviously, he took 2 clubs from nowhere in German football, really, in Hoffenheim and Leipzig, and dragged them through the divisions and took them to the very top of their league structure. This is a completely different animal. He, as I say, he walked into 2 teams that were quite small and built them over a period of years. He's got 6 months to take one of the biggest clubs in the world, the biggest club in English League football, 20-time Premier League champions, and he's got to drag them from where they sit right now, which is still 7th in the Premier League table, which, if you ask any Manchester United fan, 14 games gone, that's nowhere near good enough. The pressure's on him in a strange sort of way, but exactly what Doug says there. It is absolutely not going to be an easy fix, and like I say, he's got 6 months. It's really, I don't know how they're going to play it, because it's like, are they going to give him 100 million or whatever in the January transfer window to sort of bring in players that, if he's not kept on in 6 months' time, the new guy coming in, whether it's Zidane, whether it's Pochettino, will they look at the players that Rangnick's just brought in and go, actually, then they're not my players, and then have to move them on? It's a really weird situation. As I say, he's proved himself in Germany, but he did it in a completely different dynamic. He went into a small club, with all due respect to Hoffenheim and to Leipzig, but they were, in terms of the pecking order. He's gone in there and he's built it over a period of time. This is not the same situation.
Yeah, what I feel is tricky here is, what I feel, just adding to what he said, what I feel is tricky here is that you're bringing in a new manager, not just talking about Rangnick here, you're bringing in a new manager. Just before the January window, you are asking him to just be there for 6 months. The new manager will bring in new signings according to his system, and then after the 6 months, you're thinking of changing the manager, and that new manager will be left with the players who were brought in under the old regime. So I don't know how is that logical enough. I think I'm forgetting the club's name. there was a certain club who did the same thing, and it just wasn't right. It doesn't seem right, because then you're just going back. You're just going back to square one then, because in the next season,
listen, I think he's going to be kept on. He's going to be kept on as the consultant for 2 years, as people have been saying. So I think he does have a say. He does have a big say in who is going to be coming in next. And I think he was asked, one of his earliest questions today morning, he was asked if if the 6-month contract really does sit well with him. And he said that, I think, if I'm not wrong, he did say something like he would probably be looking at it as a 1-year thing. He did say that, if I'm not wrong, because he did kind of mention that the January window, he's not going to be looking at a lot of names to bring in. He said that you can't really settle well in the January window. So I think he will be given some amount after Christmas, of course. But I agree with all of your points here. But I really do think the kind of system you're talking about, I think he does have a big say in the next manager. If it's Poch, if it's Zidane, they're talking about Ten Hag, they're talking about a lot of names right now. I think he has a big say in who's going to be coming in next. And
The
also,
thing- the
yeah.
only thing I'd throw in is that stylistically, Rangnick to Zidane, Rangnick to Pochettino, they're completely different styles of football.
They're very
Exactly.
different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense to me. I mean, if Rangnick's going to be the guy that's going to lay the foundations for a sustained period of Manchester United success over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, whatever, then for me, the next guy coming in, if Rangnick isn't kept on and he does indeed go to this consultancy role, then surely the person that's going to follow Rangnick in is going to have to be someone that plays the same philosophy that he plays, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
See, you guys make a great point. As in again, people in the chat have their comments, and fair enough. Like, he has a way of playing, but is 5 months enough? That was my question, and you guys kind of definitely sum it up excellently. So I'll come to Chinmay. I know Chinmay, you have to go in a few minutes, and because we're talking about Rangnick, let me share actually what I think the team played. Obviously, against Arsenal, and see, not just that. Of course, the Chelsea game as well. To some extent, you can say that it was Rangnick's team, because I think in the press conference, he actually mentioned that he had a chat with Oli before the Chelsea game for 2 hours.
Before the Chelsea game, and you see a guy called Cristiano Ronaldo got famously got benched at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I think that I said it to a friend, but I'm pretty sure that he had some say in it, because he knew that if he wanted to press that high, maybe Ronaldo might not do it. But one more point, I've been hearing a lot of this, that Ronaldo will not press. I don't think he's been told to press for the last 10, 15 years. I think it was Neville or Scholes who said that last night. And I really have to tell you that, you do see yesterday, Arsenal were able to play out from the back against United. And that is something which should not be happening. They were actually able to get out in front of United. So I think, tomorrow's session, tomorrow he only has one training session before the Palace game. But I really think it needs to change. And if you have a look at the team, I think maybe you might see a lot more of Greenwood coming in. I think Ronaldo now, because it is a busy schedule, you might see a little bit of, you might start conserving Ronaldo because he's in the Champions League. You might start conserving already for the January, the January-Feb period. Greenwood's coming in. Martial is there. Cavani is injured. Cavani is still injured. So, that's one name who's not mentioned. But then there are talks that he's going to Barca. So I think, style-wise, things are going to change. Let's just have a look at Lingard. There are a lot of players. Van de Beek. Everybody was saying Van de Beek's not being played. Now you see, where is Van de Beek going to be played? Does Bruno get benched often? McTominay, Fred does that? Because Fred, whatever you say about him, he presses. He does press. And, he does cause the opposition to make a mistake. So you can't really take that workforce out too. So there are going to be changes. Yeah. But, the Palace game is going to be a trailer. I think the Chelsea game, the Arsenal game, yes, I can't say I liked yesterday's game, because he said the same thing in the press conference today. We conceded 2 goals. And if you concede 2 goals, you have to score 3 to win. It should not be that way. Not at Old Trafford. We haven't kept a clean sheet in 17, 18 games, if I'm not wrong. We really do need to start getting that defense to show up.
Yeah, but before you go, obviously the Palace game is coming up, and before you go, obviously so in this team, you're not seeing any major changes apart from maybe Greenwood coming in for the Palace game.
Might as well. I think Ronaldo, I don't know why, but yesterday when I saw that he was being taken off, he, for some reason he looked off the pace while going off. Is that a signal that Ronaldo does not start on Sunday, because there is a Champions League game on Tuesday? So
but they've already qualified, right? So
yeah, but so again, you might just, and record man Ronaldo, he has scored in, I think, all the games so far in the Champions League. So he might want to continue that record in the 6th game.
Point.
So I think it's only about Ronaldo for me. I think Greenwood might come in for Sancho or Rashford. I don't see any other changes. Shaw might come back if he's fit, but Telles had a good game yesterday.
Yeah,
Diego Dallo will stay on. Diego Dallo will stay on though. My prediction, I don't think Van der Sar has a shot for coming back in, because Dallo did have quite a good game yesterday attacking wise.
Interesting. And I think even Matic is, if I'm not wrong, he's injured as well. So again, the Palace won't be easy. People in the chat, do get in your 11s. I know we will come to other games as well. Of course, the Chelsea game that we're waiting for, the West Ham as well. But the fact that I think Manchester United are having injuries, and Rangnick's first game, I don't see so many changes. At the end of the day, Palace have had 2 back-to-back losses. So they will be pumped up. Not that they don't have Will Zaha, Conor Gallagher in form, and of course, Eze coming back, and Benteke finally, looking like the player that he used to be, at least to some extent. So I think it'll be interesting. What's your prediction, Chinmay, before you go?
I hope we win, because United, everybody turns up against United. Everybody does. So I hope we win. I'm going. I hope we get a clean sheet. A 0-2 would do. A 0-2 would really do well.
Wow, interesting. So anyway, people, that was it from Chinmay. Chinmay, I think you have to go, right? If I'm not wrong. So again, big up to you for joining and of course taking the time off. Hopefully next time you will be there longer and anything
Great
that you have to
with
say.
Great chatting with you guys. Great chatting with you guys. I just hope a new period for I just want to say just before I sign off, the Premier League has great managers, and I'm happy it's United, but we've got one more great manager coming in. So I just hope exciting times for the Premier League, and let's just go ahead with the season.
Great. Thanks again.
Okay. Take care.
Cheers, man.
Okay, so anyway, people, do follow Chinmay. His socials are below. And talking about Rangnick, I kind of will keep the topic there because I think Aditya, he made a very interesting point. Like, again, we kind of knew it in the news, but coming from his mouth made a difference. He was obviously offered the Chelsea job. It was an interim job, 4 months. I think mistakenly in the press conference, he said February. And then Tuchel was asked in the press, and Tuchel said, okay, I'm hoping that he made a mistake in terms of the date because they don't want to kind of offer him when I was already managing against Wolves. So what do you have to say to that? Like, in hindsight, as in Rangnick not coming to Chelsea, is that adding, salt to the wound already or what?
No, man, it's completely independent to that. Because if we start talking about managers who wanted to come to Chelsea or have come to Chelsea and are managing in different clubs, I mean, we'll just be stuck in pain. So, I mean, that is just, I don't think so. I think so. That's valid for me. I think the most painful for me, to be very, very honest, the most painful for me was when Conte took up Tottenham's job. I was really heartbroken at that particular point of time. I mean, I was more heartbroken than Mourinho taking up the Tottenham job because, honestly speaking, I personally feel that Conte has had a bigger impact in my Chelsea fandom than Mourinho, to be absolutely honest. So,
Strong
because
statement, I must
seeing
say.
him with that passion on the sidelines for Tottenham, I mean, come on! It just reminds me of everything that he
Infectious,
stood
right?
for.
Infectious energy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
something
just
that
infectious.
absolutely.
And the thing is, every Tottenham player is actually talking about that. I mean, Son has gone on record talking about that. Ben Davis has gone on record talking about that. Every Tottenham fan feels the same way. I mean, sorry, every Tottenham player feels the same way, and I think fans do as well because he just is the epicenter of everything that happens around that particular club. And it was the same with Chelsea as well, and I think it was the same with Inter Milan as well. So I feel that's why I said, like, when it comes to managers, I think that was the only manager, and that is still the only manager for which I'm still a little bit heartbroken about.
I actually agree with that totally. Like again, but yeah, again, Jose Mourinho will always be the best manager for Chelsea, no matter what. But yeah, I get your point in terms of the energy, the passion that he brings, a different element altogether. And Nipun is in the house. Nipun, big up for joining. And of course, we have spoken a lot about Manchester United, of course, Rangnick of the likes. But yeah, then of course, a big game is coming up. That is the London derby, after all. West Ham should be considered definitely a big club again. Like that is the time. I'm sure Gatesy is kind of proud now, and then he is definitely waiting for that moment where West Ham are genuine top four contenders consistently.
Last 3 games have put a bit of a dent in that one. To be fair, two defeats and a draw, and I got to say, since the Liverpool game, and I mean, I saw Doug's comment and appreciate that, Doug, and likewise the same the other way round.
Right. Sorry, Gates, but I think City was a little bit unfair because you're actually playing on a skating rink. So
that one I kind of put to one side because I'm not being funny. Away at City. Listen, they're on a different level to us. It's as simple as that. If I'm being completely honest about it, I know we beat Liverpool, but Liverpool are on a different level to us. Man United are on a different. I'm talking in terms of like their financial firepower, their muscle. The top 6 money clubs are just in a different realm. We don't occupy the same realm. We can't go out and spend 60, 70, 80 million quid on a player. It's just, so we've got to do it a different way. And last season it worked. We finished sixth, punched well above our weight. Now, this season we've started well, but the last 3 games have gone a little bit iffily. Now, as I say, the City game I kind of put to one side. The Wolves game, very disappointing. I can't lie. The Brighton game, we're the home team and we had 33, 34% possession and had a 72% pass accuracy. One fed into the other. We were giving the ball away. We was literally handing them possession. Now, we managed to go 1-0 up after 5 minutes and we held on. Obviously, there was the goal that was scored on I think it was the 49th minute that was VAR'd and it was, ruled out correctly. I've got no problem. It is, if you know the offside law, it was a correct call. No problem with that. But then you get to the 89th minute and you're thinking, we're going to hold on for all 3 points here. This, we've played badly, admittedly, but we're going to get 3 points. Tariq Lamptey, on the other hand, had other ideas. He went down the right flank, crosses it in, and it was a
ex-Chelsea.
Yeah. And Neil Maupay, improvised brilliantly. If I was a complete neutral, I'd have looked at that goal and gone, brilliant sort of like run to the byline by the wing back. Great cross into the box, and what a finish. Unfortunately, I wasn't a neutral. I was at the ground watching it, and I'm like, oh, goodness, here we go again. Yeah, it is what it is. Do I expect us to win tomorrow? No, I don't. But it would be a typical West Ham thing for us to lose to Wolves, lose to City, draw against Brighton and play badly, and then beat the champions of Europe. It would be such a West Ham thing to do.
We are charity FC, like that's our trademark anyway. So I can perfectly understand that. But of course, big up to Eugene and of course the Asian Sensational FC also to join us. Again, people joining, do smash that like button and do check out the description for Adidev and Gates's channels. Definitely great channels to subscribe. But having said that, West Ham, well, they've kind of lost, I think, 2 over the last 4 London derbies in EPL. As many that they had lost, in the previous 10. So that means that they don't lose many London derbies, so to speak. And on the other hand, I think they won 3 of the last 6 home matches against Chelsea. Again, as many that they had done in 14. So they don't actually win as many home games versus Chelsea. And that's something that you would only expect. Let's be honest. Chelsea has to be the favorites.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, on the other hand, I think we've won our last 7 away London derbies, and that's probably a record in English football, top 4 tiers of English football as in ever. So something's got to give. I don't want to jinx it, but these all the things, and of course we have had the double over West Ham last year, but season before that under Lampard, West Ham did the double over us. So it's all pointing towards a draw if you just go by the probability. But again,
I'd be happy with a point. Let me tell you, I would take a point right here, right now.
We won't be happy with the point. Trust me, we are just giving away points.
Listen,
just giving
I'll
away
say
points
it now.
left, right, and centre.
I made Chelsea favourites for the Premier League before a ball had been kicked. I looked at their squad. I look at what Tuchel had done when he walked through the door. He'd obviously strengthened up certain positions because he brought. Correct me if I'm wrong. He brought in Mendy, didn't he?
It was Czech.
Lampard brought in Mendy.
Was it? I
thought
he was a Tuchel signing, but I mean, listen, he obviously come in. He's turned things around from Lampard, and obviously he got you the Champions League, and he's obviously strengthened by spending 100 million quid on Lukaku, and I just look at. And there's been a few people that have said to me, not West Ham fans, not Chelsea fans. We actually had a Man City fan on one of our opposition views before the Man City game, and he turned around, Ray, and said that he thought that City on their day were the best team. But he did concede that he thinks that the problem that City are going to have is that they're going to have peaks and troughs, whereas he reckons Chelsea are just going to be more consistent throughout a 38 game league season. I make Chelsea favourites to be the Premier League winners at the end of the season. However, I just keep my fingers crossed that we can get something tomorrow.
See, that's the thing, right? Again, people in the chat do take a poll. I'm hoping everyone has taken that poll because, yes, that is about that all important fourth position. And then, time and again, West Ham, I know Gates is saying that he's just kind of keeping, cards close to his chest. But even Arsenal kind of missed that chance. So I think West Ham, I don't know, it's kind of going that way. But let's hope that we get the win. But coming to Chelsea, of course, Adidev, listening to Tuchel's presser again, another refreshing presser that he had. But we have injuries aplenty. Kante is still out. Kovacic, as in two players who've sorely been missed in the last couple of home games, especially. And of course, we have Chilwell, long-term injury, and Chalobah, hamstring, I believe. So they are out. So let me share my screen with you because, again, the starting 11 that played against Watford, we all know that was a disappointing, kind of start. But towards the second half, I think we played pretty well in the second half. So this is what I'm going for. But tell me about you, Adidev. What do you think? And of course, people in the chat do pitch in as well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the lineup. To be very honest, I'm also actually looking at this and I'm thinking that this is how we are going to definitely line up. Christensen isn't injured, is he? But Christensen just played, so I don't think so. They will just
The
rest
contract talks
Christensen
again,
there.
right? I thought that maybe he was brought in because of the fact that Silva played too many games.
Yeah,
That was my assumption.
I think I think this is the perfect lineup for us. I don't think so. We have too many options, to be very honest. Probably let's say Pulisic comes up right in the front, but I don't think so. There is any other option that we have. So a quality option to probably pitch against West Ham. So very straightforward. I'm very worried about our left flank. Very very worried about our left flank because if you look at the heat map of Watford, or if you look at the passing directions of Watford against us, they just kept on focusing on that left flank. They just kept on hounding Alonso, and even if you look at that Liverpool game that we drew. Uh, in the second half, Liverpool were just hounding us on that left flank as well. So everybody has realized that whenever Alonso plays, our left is very weak, our left is very exposed. And I think that is going to be the plan for West Ham as well. It is very clear. I think you really don't need to actually think about that. It is very clear. So I really feel that is we're going to be very much exposed there because I think Ben Rama is going to drift outside. I think Declan will also probably drift outside. I think there are a lot of things.
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% convinced that Ben Rama will play. Did you see his performance the other night?
Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah, but I think against Alonso, even an average player would feel like a world class player. To be absolutely frank with you. So to be absolutely frank with you, so I feel that is exactly why I feel a Ben Rama would still spin Alonso in tops. So I feel that is going to be a pretty clear indication in our game, and that is where you need to be worried about. Right, I'm definitely not worried about at all. Reece James back is an absolute like a very very happy moment for me because again we are getting the goals from our wing backs. So Reece James back is like it's just a boon, to be honest, and Jorginho back is also a boon. I just want to spend some time actually talking about Saul and the and what is actually happening there. Also, Kai Havertz won't play this game, and I'm pretty sure you use Lukaku there, which is absolutely bang on. But if Kai plays, I would be very very surprised. I'll basically talk about like some not reservations exactly, but I'll just talk about some points that I really feel about why Saul hasn't fit into the system yet. I really feel, and this is a very vague point, but I really feel this very specific as well to some extent. Again, this particular league, that's one, is not exactly suited to how Saul usually wants to play. The second thing is Saul, like under Diego Simeone in his last season, he rarely played in his favored position. So immediately being transferred to the European champions and expecting to control the game from the midfield for the European champions when you have actually minimal experience in that particular position for the year before that, I mean that is very unfair on that particular player. And that just puts a very unrealistic demand on that particular player. And I still feel that whenever Saul plays, I really, really hope for like an absolute like beautiful performance from him. Because when we signed Saul, I was absolutely jumping. I was so happy. I was very, very happy when Saul signed. But thing is, after seeing Saul, the some of the fears that I had in the back of my head, those fears are realized now. Like I know that why this is happening. I know why this is happening, and I still support the player because I know the player has got immense talent, He just needs some more game time in that particular position. Unfortunately, as again, I'll repeat this because yes, we are European champions. We can't give him that game time in a regular basis. We can't give him that game time regular basis. You can't substitute Jorginho in a regular basis. So that is exactly why what I think Saul, if Saul would have been in any other team, for example, if we would have been in a Manchester United, for example, I'm just giving you an example here. If I would see a Saul and a Fred combination working, I do feel that a Saul and a Fred combination would work.
Wow.
And that is why I feel Saul in the system, in our system, doesn't really fit. I feel he would be better off in some other system, to be very honest, or in some other team where the demands are not really as high as the demands that are there on us from the players that are playing in our team. That's one. From Kai Havertz, I know he scored a Champions League goal. He's done a lot of his Champions League winning goal. He's done a lot for us, but there's one major qualm that I have about Kai is that when Lukaku and Werner were injured, the run of games that Kai played, the consistent run of games that Kai played, I think that's taken a toll on him. Whenever he's coming on the pitch. Yesterday also, sorry, not yesterday, against Watford, he came on the pitch. I don't know. One of my friends said that they liked Kai. The performance was good. I didn't really see that. I thought he was very lazy. I thought his first touch was pretty off, and I just feel that the Kai that we saw in some patches, where we thought that okay, fine, this guy has got quality. He brings that quality every time in Germany, but when he comes to Chelsea right now, I really don't see that. I see those glimpses of quality, but I don't see that consistency in terms of stamina, that consistency in terms of work rate with Kai Havertz. And I think that is going to be a little bit troublesome for us in terms of a squad depth, because you can't exactly depend on Lukaku every time to lead the line. So that is what I had to say about these two people.
Fair enough. And of course, the Asian Sensational FC says you have a Roma fan here, not a Liverpool FC fan. So as an Aditya loves football, obviously we all love, Jose Mourinho. I'm hoping that, obviously, for a fact, Aditya is a Chelsea fan first, but we love football.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. I love jerseys, man. I love jerseys. I can wear. Yeah, I love jerseys.
I have got a Kaka jersey there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm like all around. But very well put there, Adidev. I must say, as in bang on. Again, people in the chat, if you disagree with Adidev or what do you think the starting 11 would be, what do you think about Saul? Do comment. Coming to West Ham, West Ham, I believe Ogbonna is still out, if I'm not wrong. Gatesy.
Ogbonna's done for the season. We're not going to see him. It's an ACL injury. It's a big one. How you doing, Chris? Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, we're not going to see Ogbonna again this season, and there's a very real possibility we might not see him again in a claret and blue shirt, which would be really sad if that happens. The one good thing is that Gold and Sullivan have turned around and said, because his contract's actually up in the summer, and they have said they will extend it for another year come what may. But yeah, I mean, he's 33, 34. Yeah, I mean, just looking at your team there, well, you got Fabianski in goal, is it? I can't.
Yeah, let me just remove that comment
you got
for
the banner.
Yeah, definitely, Fabianski has to be in goal. Come on, again, Chelsea always turns up. We know that. But I think Zuma, talking about Ogbonna, of course, but Zuma, of course, moving from Chelsea again. People who kind of know me and have been following the channel know that I am a huge Zuma fan. And a lot of times, what he did for us in 2015, League Cup final, and those kind of moments are not really celebrated as much. So for me, I think you've got a class defender. What is your report on him?
Yeah, listen, I think he's been quality. The only problem I've got is that tomorrow, just to sort of a slight correction there, tomorrow it will be Zuma will be on the left of the pairing because Dawson, for whatever reason, don't ask me why, he just doesn't play as the left centre back. So Zuma will be deployed as the left centre back. Now, personally, I think that the loss of Ogbonna will be huge this season because he was a naturally left-footed, left-sided centre back. And now you've got a situation where you've got a right-footed centre-back that's not comfortable playing on the left. So he looked really uncomfortable there against Wolves. I don't think he looked particularly comfortable there against Brighton the other night. I got a funny feeling that Vladimir Kufal might play at right back ahead of Ben Johnson. I think Cresswell, if he's fit, will come back because I think his delivery is so important for our set pieces. But it depends. Obviously, he took that whack again on the post against Man City. If he doesn't make it, then yeah, Ben Johnson will play at left back. But if
I think he's got to play. Come on, even 50% Cresswell remembers that goal that he scored against us, and
yeah.
I'm
Now,
sure.
I'd want Cresswell in, but obviously, if he doesn't make it, then it is what it is. Yeah, I knew he'd pipe up with that. I knew he'd pipe up. Just in case anybody wants to know the story, basically, there was I was on his channel one time, and I said something about because I think Chris said something about sort of like Dawson not having any pace, and I said it made a throwaway comment like neither was Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
And he's never let me live it down. And I said immediately, I'm not saying that Bobby Moore and Craig Dawson are comparable in a quality sense. I'm just saying that in terms of lack of pace, that was it. That was the only similarity they ever had, and he's never ever let me forget it. Oh,
you just broke YouTube with that statement.
True. And again, people feel free to clip. You have my permission. But again, Michael has a question. Does GC think West Ham can win the Europa League this season? They've been very impressive. Like again, this team on paper looks great, I must say. But what is your call?
It depends largely on the teams that come down from the Champions League because I mean, you could have Barcelona coming down. I think Dortmund can come down. There's an awful lot of quality teams that could drop into the Europa League. So, can we win it? In answer to the question, yes. But a lot of it, and also it's how are we going to cope with injuries, loss of form? Antonio's form has dropped off a cliff. Ben Rama's form has dropped off a cliff. Fornalza's form has dropped off a cliff in the last couple of games. So we need them to sort of like start to show a little bit of recovery. Looking at that 11, it's close to what I've picked for our pre-match, which I'll be doing in about half an hour on Forged. But I suspect it will be Fabianski in goal, back four from left to right, Cresswell, Zuma, Dawson, and Kufal. The double pivot will be Rice, the captain, and Souček. I then think the three in front of them, in my opinion, I think Pablo Fornals will get a stay of execution and he'll be on the left. And I think the reason he will be there is because of the work rate that he puts in, and he'll be able to give Cresswell a little bit of cover and allow Cresswell to get down that left flank and play some deliveries in. I think Ben Rama will drop out. I think it will be Manuel Lanzini coming in, and I think Bowen on the right, and Michail Antonio will play up top. And the only reason that he's going to play up top is because we got nobody else. We've got no other striker. Crazy situation.
Again, when Antonio doesn't score, I think he's not scored for about 3-4 games now, and that's clear for West Ham that how much Antonio is kind of dependent on. But I think you have to depend on him. We also depend on a striker, but of course not as much. But a lot of teams do, and that's a fact. Like for example, if Liverpool don't have Salah, and that's a fact. You say that you have backup, but no one can replace Antonio because what he brings is totally different, right?
He is unique. I mean, he's a guy that when you sort of stop and think about it, he's 30, 31 now, and he's been a recognised number 9 for 18 months of his career. Before that, he was a winger. He had a spell playing at right back as well, right wing back, whatever. So he's fairly new on the job. He's still learning. I think he would be a nightmare to play against when he was fit and firing because I don't think he knows what he's going to do next. So quite how a defender is going to react to him is anybody's guess. There's no other striker like him in the Premier League, but his form at the moment is not in a great place at the minute, and we need him to recover, because, as I say, we don't have anyone that we could put in as the number 9 that could do anywhere close to a similar job. Hopefully David Moyes can address that in the January transfer window, but then I said that in the summer transfer window just gone. So
True. Aditya, I'll quickly come to that team that we saw. Obviously, Declan Rice, and then with Chelsea, we have to talk about Declan Rice, and of course, Gatesy, faces that Declan Rice every summer, every transfer window. But where are you on this, Aditya? Like in terms of Declan Rice, possibly coming to Chelsea, would you want a Declan Rice as maybe at what 80 million versus like going for a Chouamini or someone like in the future? What is your call?
What do we need to do with so many midfielders? I don't know. I
Supposedly,
don't get this point.
supposedly, Jorginho is not to be compared, like as in people say. But again, it's the age factor, right? As in maybe 12 months down the line.
I mean, okay, cool. I understand that, but when I'm counting the midfielders that we have right now who are on loan as well, I'm looking at Conor Gallagher, I'm looking at Billy Gilmore, I'm looking at Ethan Ampadu, I'm looking at obviously I'm looking at the people who are here right now. I'm looking at Barkley. Barkley will probably be sold, but I'm still in the current scenario. He's still there. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You have Jorginho. You have Kante. You have Kovacic. I mean, come on! How many more options do we need there?
I think Gates
I
will
mean,
be
I
happy listening
understand.
to that.
That's music to my ears. I mean, listen, I think that Declan Rice is going to stay at West Ham his entire career? I think it's unlikely. My personal opinion is that he will still be a West Ham player next season. A lot of people have doubts on that, but the reason why I think that is because Mark Noble will retire at the end of this season, and I can't see that the current board will allow 2 captains to go in the same transfer window in the same summer. I think Declan Rice will stay next season, and he will go to the World Cup in Qatar as a West Ham player. I think what will then happen is he's very likely to go to the World Cup and light it up like he did in the Euros. And I think at that point, with the time that he's got left on his contract and the value that he is, behave yourself, Chris, the value that he has sort of like in terms of the club and all the rest of it. And the other thing, if you like conspiracy theories, here's one for you. March 2023, which obviously follows the World Cup because the World Cup's in November, December 2022. Gold and Sullivan can then sell West Ham United, and they do not have to pay a penalty clause as part of the loan arrangement that they signed with to get the London Stadium, the 100-year lease. So I think what will happen is that Declan Rice will be sold and the club will be sold at around about the same sort of time in the summer of 2023. You heard it here first.
Wow. And then interesting because I think again the position will kind of call it, right? If West Ham is able to get that 4th position, as in there's no kind of doubt that Declan Rice probably will be convinced to stay at least for a year. But I think that's what it is. Like again, I think Asian Sensational FC says that Yarmolenko is better than Bowen. Yeah, as in against Chelsea, we know Rudiger kind of was not in his form when Yarmolenko scored against us. So maybe he's referring to that. Like I think the 3-2 win that you got under Lampard during the lockdown. But Yarmolenko, again, he's been excellent for his country, but for West Ham, for some reason, he's not been that.
Sometimes the pieces of the jigsaw just don't fit. I mean, don't forget he wasn't signed by David Moyes; he was signed by Manuel Pellegrini. And when he plays for the Ukraine are set up to get the very best out of Andrei Yarmolenko. Whereas when Andrei Yarmolenko plays for West Ham, he's just another player. So it's not like we're working to sort of get the best out of him. He's just another player sort of thing. So like I say, it's sometimes the pieces of the jigsaw just don't fit, no matter how hard you try.
Yes, that's rightly put. And again, Chelsea perspective dreads Antonio. Like everyone dreads him. Like when Antonio plays, trust me. Like when he's on form. I remember the days when Victor Moses was there, and him and Victor Moses were on the wings bombing. And now Antonio, what has become and what Victor Moses become. Like again, that's just the the player quality that you kind of tend to kind of
Yeah.
stick to. But Adidev, like coming to you again, I know we've been talking about the teams and whatnot. Like West Ham. Again, the talks are like they have a big investor. If I'm not wrong, that investor is probably is already done, or it's kind of is going to be done any moment. Like they are having the approvals in place. So do you, as an opposition, Aditya, see West Ham, the stadium that they have, actually genuinely being there in the top four, like coming years? Because we all know Manchester United are in a as in transitional phase, as in that's
Mhm.
an understatement itself. And Arsenal, we know, as in let's not talk about that. But yeah, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean, when I'm looking at the current West Ham side as well, they're not too far from a top four side. To be very, very honest with you, I mean, apart from certain, let's say, apart from apart from a quality right back, and apart from, let's say, a better center back, a better center back to probably pair up with, let's say, a Zuma, because we just love Zuma to bits. So to pair up with Zuma there, get some depth in that particular setup. I don't think so. West Ham are exactly a very bad side to not be considered in the top four. Now with the new investment coming in, that is what is exactly going to happen. I don't think so. They need a complete dressing down when it comes to their system, or when it comes to their squad. uh, I think some of these players, when a new investment comes into the picture, some of these players, when you upgrade them into, let's say, from a B to an A, I think that is absolutely going to be very beneficial for them, and I really see them competing for the top four, at least in the next season, if this investment comes through.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, quickly, because we're talking about possible transfers. Again, going back to the pressers, I know Tuchel has been questioned a lot in recent times, and of course we spoke about Ragnick in the past. Now again, Ragnick I think was talked about the transfers, connecting Ragnick and Tuchel, right? Timo Werner, like Timo Werner is someone that Ragnick, I think, if I'm not wrong, has developed. If I'm not wrong, at Leipzig, he was the one who brought him there and got him to the player that he is today. And of course, there are reports about Lewandowski possibly being offered to Chelsea with Bayern, with Nagelsmann also having worked with Werner, wanting him. So, Aditya, what is your call like in terms of just as a Chelsea fan? Would you like to see obviously Lewandowski? Let's not be mistaken here. Like Lewandowski has to be no. You don't think so? You don't reckon that?
No, no, no. I was having this conversation with some other person last night about the same thing, and I just wondered about the fact that if Lewandowski comes into the Premier League, is he going to give me 25 goals, 30 goals this season? I don't think so, because with the Bundesliga, what you have is like are teams which press you high consistently, who have a very high line. Like almost every team has a very high line in the Bundesliga. They play in that particular zone. With the Premier League, it's just absolutely relentless when it comes to probably closing down individual players. Now I don't know where Lewandowski would be afforded that particular space, or would be afforded that particular time to probably get a shot away, or to probably move into or to probably move around. I don't think so Lewandowski would be getting those half spaces. I don't think so Lewandowski would also be probably considered. How should I put this properly? Would be considered would be given leeway in terms of actually bullying away, because I think when it comes to Burnley defenders, when it comes to the big stocky defenders, when it comes to probably a Brighton as well, when it comes to a Lewis Dunk or a Shane Duffy, for example. I mean, how is Lewandowski? Am I saying that Lewandowski will probably school them? I don't think so, because they're absolutely bang on, very solid when it comes to boarding somebody out there, and I really think that is something that could be a problem for Lewandowski in the Premier League. Uh, People are saying that he'll score 25 goals in the Premier League right now, but I really don't think that, because again, we're thinking when Timo Werner joined, you were thinking, yes, Timo Werner's finishing accuracy was not great in the Bundesliga as well, but he still scored a lot of goals. He hasn't done that for us at all in this since he's come in. So I really don't think that that's going to be the same thing for Lewandowski as well.
Yeah, then let's agree to disagree. Like, but yeah, and again, with Timo Werner going to Manchester United, I wouldn't want to see that. Like, that's what I would say. But I don't mind him going to Bayern Munich if we can get Lewandowski. But yeah, then quickly, I know Gatesy, you have to go as well. But again, great conversation, and we've had so much talk about West Ham, Chelsea. Let's get to the game now. Like, what is really the key battle in terms of the what is going to happen in the pitch? Let's predict. Gatesy, and what do you think is going to be the scoreline, and what's the difference maker for you?
Well, Lukaku's going to score. He always scores against us. Is it 11 goals in 15 games? I think. So I'm expecting him to score against us, and it doesn't matter what shirt he's worn in his time, whether it's been a Chelsea shirt, a West Brom shirt, an Everton shirt, a Manchester United shirt. He sees us and he goes, "Yeah, I'm scoring a day." So I'm not expecting us to keep a clean sheet, and my head says we're going to get beat, and I have no problem with that, so long as there is a performance that is one that sort of like I can look at as a fan and go, do you know what? We battled, we took the champions of Europe deep, and we forced them to sort of really dig deep, and they managed to get their noses in front over 90 minutes. And I've got no problem with that. If it's a performance like we put out against Wolves, if it's a performance like we put out against Brighton now, I might have a little bit of an issue there. So if I have to give a score prediction, I'm probably going to say with regret, forgive me, fellow West Ham fans, but I think it's going to be West Ham 1, Chelsea 2.
Oh wow! As in, again, I would love that. That is true, and you don't want to kind of jinx Chelsea. That's what I would say. But yeah, as in again, thanks a lot. I know, Gatesy, you have to go if I'm not wrong. Great
Much
having you.
appreciated.
I hope we have these conversation, of course, for the return leg as well, and of course, a lot of other games. Like we all know, Gatesy loves football, and
We'll get you on Forged at some point or another. Then Ankit, yeah, as I say, it's just a lot of things going on at the minute. It's trying to sort of get everything organised. It's really awkward, but we'll get you on Forged at some point before too long, mate.
Great to hear that, and of course, people in the chat by now, if you have not kind of loved the conversation, just take a look at Gatesy's channel. As in, the link is below. Definitely now go and subscribe. I can assure you that you won't be disappointed. And same
Much
about Almighty
appreciated.
Blues FC and Aditya's channel as well. But yes, Gatesy, I think we have to say bye and wish you all the best for the game. Of course, not for the win, but yeah, then let's hope for a good game. That's
All right,
what
mate.
I would say.
Look after yourselves, boys. Thanks for having me.
Best of
Take
luck,
care.
mate. Cheers.
Take care.
Okay, so Gatesy is gone. I'm hoping, Aditya, you have a few more minutes, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll just quickly go over, of course, the other predictions. And while I say that, people in the chat do get in your predictions. West Ham, Chelsea. Aditya, quickly your prediction. What do you think?
So I've given my my views about this game. I think the only problem I find in this game for us is the left flank, and if we cover that left flank as well, and I think I really feel Antonio is going to be a little bit isolated up front, because if you're playing with that back three, I'm thinking of Thiago Silva in there, and Thiago Silva himself can probably take up Antonio as well. He's just a monster in that particular scene. So I really feel that is going to happen, and I do feel this is going to be a comfortable win for us in that zone. So I feel that the white centre backs will probably cover for Marcus Alonso's defensive deficiencies, because they know that Antonio is going to be taken care of by Thiago Silva. So I feel when that's going to happen, I feel that it will be fairly comfortable for us. So I think it's going to be a 2-0 win.
Yeah, fair call. Let's hope that's right. Again, the late winner show, great channel, but I think Rishabh, he disagrees. Fair enough. Of course, let's see who gets the prediction right. Again, a lot of other games happening. If I'm not wrong, the big game, if you can call the big game of the week, apart from this game, of course, I would say is probably Everton Arsenal. I know Everton have been going through a very bad patch after that, derby loss that they had, as in a drubbing that they had got, right?
Yeah.
So, Guruji, do you see Everton will come back Benitez will probably just about save his job. No.
No. They just look too poor all round. There is nothing that comes out of it and screams optimism. Even Demarai Gray's goal was just, I mean, it just came out of nowhere, to be very honest. It just was a loss of possession in the midfield, and then bam, he just drives through you and then scores a goal. I mean, there was nothing to there was not much of quality to speak about in that particular goal as well. And I really don't feel there's not much of quality in how Everton plays to speak about as well. Didn't create too many chances in the last game. And against Tottenham as well, when they're against the big guns against Tottenham as well, they held them, but then again, Tottenham got a lot of chances in that particular game, could have scored one. Everton, on the other hand, didn't really look lethal enough, still don't, and I don't see them getting away anything from this game as well. I really see that sack coming very soon.
Yeah, talking about Benitez getting the sack, let's talk about his ex-club, that's Liverpool. The Liverpool are on as in fantastic run. Again, I think if I'm not wrong, even Klopp has been nominated as the manager of the month. I know that we'll come to
Yep.
that, but as in Wolves against Liverpool, Wolves kind of are a dark horse, you can say, in this Premier League because they
Yep.
are kind of slowly but steadily picking up that structure that they used to have over the years. As in, you see potential banana skin for Liverpool by any chance?
No, Liverpool are on a roll. I mean, kudos to Wolves, but I really don't see any banana skin for Liverpool here, because I Liverpool are just on a roll right now. Since that Brighton draw, I think they've taken that personally, and I really feel since the time they dropped points against Brighton, they have just been absolutely rock solid everywhere in every department. And I'm really scared about that. I'm really scared about the front three. I'm really scared about that front three. It's scary, like when
Yeah.
an opposition is actually
Especially
facing that.
Jota coming to form because now he's like that added set of goals. Again, he's one of them who's been
Yeah.
nominated as Player of the Month.
Yeah, Jota. I mean, the position. The interesting thing about Jota is when he was in Wolves, he was like this inside forward. He used to drift inside, and then he used to actually show what he's capable of. With Liverpool, he's just become. Yes, he's a false nine, but you look at the positions that he takes up inside the D. He's like a proper striker. He's not even a false nine. He's like an advanced forward. He has qualities that a striker has, taking up the good positions inside the box, moving into half spaces, creating spaces for other people in the center. I mean, Jota is doing all of that. I mean, he's just become an all-round player in Liverpool, and that's why I said, like, and I'm supporting my claim. That's why I said the front three is very scary. Is very scary, and the opposition really needs to be scared about it. And I really don't see, as I said, it's going to be a comfortable win for Liverpool. I don't think Wolves have anything to take away from this game.
Yeah, Michael is going to win in Liverpool, but Wolves don't concede a lot of goals. True that, Michael. But yes, Liverpool fan at that, Michael. I'm sure like you are on a roll, and we'll definitely discuss. Come the Champions League. Hopefully, as in it'll be one of those years from the past that we meet in the semis. You never know. But
Yeah.
again, talking about banana skins, I think Watford against Man City. Now, Watford was almost a banana skin for us, but the way Man City are going, again, you think the same? I think,
Yeah, I,
yeah,
I, I say the same thing. I think Claudio Ranieri had got his plans absolutely spot on against us, but with Man City as well, I really don't think Watford have the capability in terms of personnel to actually challenge Man City
yeah.
on that particular level, or to get something from that particular level. I'm looking at that squad. I'm looking at the way they play. They have good, talented players, but Man City are on another level right now. They play on another level right now. They don't have a certain system because they are so fluid. And that's exactly what is going to be Watford's downfall. And I see Man City taking a comfortable win from this as well.
Well, like that. So then again, I'm going for Man City to Watford to score again. I think Emmanuel Dennis. I know he's been great, but I have to say that like he's again been nominated in Player of the Month, but he was made to look good against Alonso. That's what I
Alonso,
can say.
exactly. Yeah,
So
absolutely, spot on, man. That's why I told Casey, right? I mean, even if you play Ben Rama against Alonso, he is going to be a star player. So I mean, that's going to happen in any game.
this as in Liverpool fan talking. Like the ghost goal is something that we don't want a reminder. Michael, come on, like that wasn't a goal. Let's agree. If VAR was there, that wasn't a goal. Let's all agree to that, right? As in again, I mean, ifs
Yeah.
and buts will continue, but I think the last one is probably a romantic kind of a story in itself because Steven Gerrard playing against Brendan Rodgers, Leicester. I know towards the end of I think Steven Gerrard's career, I think Brendan Rodgers was there. That the league title that Steven Gerrard slipped. I think this is something which has a story in itself. And Rodgers, I think Leicester has been terrible. Like they've really been
Yeah.
inconsistent. So Villa again, great run of form, beating Palace and whatnot. But you can see Villa beating Leicester, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. I don't see them beating Leicester. I think this is going to be share of the spoils. To
Okay.
be honest, it's both teams are going to score in this game. It's going to be a good game, but it's not going to be an exact. It's not going to be exactly a goal fest, but both teams are definitely going to score because Brendan Rodgers is not exactly a. It's very hard to judge Brendan Rodgers, to be very honest. I was just going to give an opinion on Brendan Rodgers, but it's very hard to judge him because it's like whenever you actually put an opinion on him, he just douses that opinion in the next game. So it's just a very hard thing to do. But that's exactly why when it's coming against Steven Gerrard, who's had a good start to his managerial stint in with Villa, it has had a good start, but then Leicester have looked too shaky. Leicester have looked absolutely very, very shaky throughout the season, and Brendan Rodgers needs to take a blame for that particular reason. Uh, they are not looking great while defending. There have been glimpses where they have looked really good while attacking. They have looked really, really good while attacking, and that's exactly why I feel Aston Villa will also ship goals. Leicester will also ship goals. I think it's going to be a 1-1.
Well, great predictions there. Again, people in the chat, I hope you got in your predictions. We are going to clip this, and you will, look at basically what the standings are after the December season, right? And because this is the very busy season where we get a lot of games, predictions, and whatnot. But yes, I think these were the important games that we wanted to speak about. In terms of managers of the month, would you give it to Pep Guardiola, Guruji? He won
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the games, right?
absolutely.
City.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I like about Pep Guardiola, and he still does that, even if his team is like, if his team is 1-0 up, he considers it as an insult. I mean, he's acting on the touchline, he considers it as an insult if he's 1-0 up by the 80th minute or something. And that's just like, I just want to like stop my whole rant about Pep Guardiola. I don't want to go on a rant about Pep Guardiola because of that, because that's one thing I definitely like about him. It's like, I mean, you're 1-0 up in a like by the 80th minute, you're mostly going to win the game. You should be happy with the 3 points, but man, oh man, he always wants goals. And I mean, that's exactly why I think Pep Guardiola should get the manager of the month. His City has been impregnable, if I could
Yeah.
actually put a word there. So yeah.
Great, great, great one. But yeah, people in the chat, what is your vote for the best player of the month? I think the options, I think the top options are Jota, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Silva, Bernardo Silva, and of course, I think Cancelo. Like again, my vote goes for Cancelo, if you ask me. But again, Silva has been fantastic as well. So that's a tough
I
choice, right?
think I think Jota. I
Jota,
personally
oh,
feel
wow.
it should be Jota because Joao Cancelo, not exactly in the Premier League, in the Champions League, most of us good performances. Yes, he's been great in the Premier League. I'm not denying that, but most of his great performances came in the Champions League. So I feel when you're giving a Premier League player of the month, I think it definitely deserves to be Jota because the reasons we have discussed about that. So I really don't want to repeat that. He's been an absolutely impactful player for Liverpool this month.
Fantastic. Yes, guys, a lot of discussion. Again, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who's watching, do smash that like and, of course, check out the description. Adidev's channel is there, Adidev Gurugyan, if I'm not wrong. And, of course, he knows his stuff, and by now all of you know it. And, of course, Almighty Blues FC is there for everyone to see. Hopefully, we will obviously cover a lot more this coming week because we are planning on the Champions League show and a special show on Sunday night. So do come back Sunday night Indian Standard Time, that is. And I'll give the floor to Adidev. Guruji, anything that you have to say, anything that you would like to say about the channel or anything otherwise?
Nothing much. I mean, when you subscribe to my channel, please don't go away by just seeing 5 videos there or 6 videos there. I mean, yes, I have not been very frequent with uploading videos on my channel, so please pardon me for that. But yeah, I assure you, when my it, as Gatesy said, it's very hard to run a YouTube channel. I think Ankit also knows that by now. So that why it's hard to run a YouTube channel, you'll see that by actually seeing just 6 videos in my YouTube channel. So I mean, that just explains it all. But I'll just try to be a little bit more frequent with stuff. I was a little bit caught up in the last 4 to 5 months since I actually started my channel, so I'll just be a little bit more frequent with my stuff. So please bear with me and hit like and subscribe. So yeah.
Perfect. And again, great to have you. And again, everyone in the chat, very much thanks to have the time basically to spend the time. And I'm sure you love the chat. If you did, do consider sharing the link as well. And come back on Sunday because yes, we are coming up with a big Champions League show as well. So I think yeah, that is about it for now. And till next time, take care and peace out, guys.
Cheers, guys.